did I erase it? Was there stuff that, oh man, like just that feeling of, oh, like what did I do? And feeling like I got hit by a truck. I mean, it was horrible. So that was something that made me feel uncomfortable a little bit, just like, oh. And then when he was in the bank and he was trying to cash the check and shaking so bad he couldn't sign it, and he went to the bar, and needed to drink some more to calm it down. And I might have said at that point, or I don't know, there's a few points where I might have said out loud, God, I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore. But he had to go to the bar, and the bartender was like, look, bro, it's like you should be having breakfast. You should be having coffee right now. Instead, you're in here, But that's what he had to do. And I remember thinking back in my active addiction, this is what I have to do. I know no other way. If I tell somebody about my problem, they're going to judge me, and they're going to think I'm a loser or just, a piece of crap. I can't tell anybody. I just have to keep, this is what I know. This is the only thing I can do to keep it going, to stop the shakes and to feel like I could breathe, like I'm normal, to get that level back to normal is to just keep drinking it. Obviously that's not the way. And now that I'm on the other side of it in recovery, I realize that no, you can reach out for help, and nobody is going to judge you. If they're going to judge you, it's going to be good judge, because you're doing something about a way of life that's just miserable and leads to an early death. So don't feel like bad if you're in recovery. You know what I'm talking about. If you want to be in recovery, I'm telling you right now, tell your doctor. And even if you think he's judging you, who cares, man? Those are his thoughts. If he doesn't think, wow, this guy is asking me about this because he wants to better his life, who's going to knock you for that? Nobody. Yeah. And if they do, bye.
Yeah.
You don't need those people, and you can get a different doctor, man.
That comes up a lot, I think, in the minds of people that are in addiction is keeping it to themselves or amongst certain select few people, because they don't want to let out the fact that that they were that bad or are that bad, and I was actually sharing this with a girl that I know, Shannon. Hey, girl. Anyway, we were talking about disclosure, about where you're at in your life, and if you're in recovery, whether or not it's a good idea to share that with people. And I think that, and in hindsight, as I'm having this conversation with her, like, I don't know, a week ago or so, and it made me remember that a lot of the times when I chose to keep my sobriety to myself and not make it clear to the people around me that I, am in recovery and I don't drink, because I was afraid of what they would think about me, I don't think that was really it. That's what I told myself at the time, is that I didn't want to be judged. And maybe a piece of it was that. But even more so, it was that I still wanted that opportunity to be able to say I would go out and drink with them if that ever came around to be that way. You know what I mean? So I was never like, oh, I thought you didn't drink. No, I never said that, because I wouldn't say that. It was like leaving this door cracked for relapse with this group of people. And I kid you not, is that, see, I did good there. I didn't swear. But I kid you not that I can now, in hindsight, I can actually recall 3 or 4 times where I might have been sober for 2 weeks or a month or something. And mostly like work people that I would be working with, I would be, back in going to meetings and trying to do this again, or weaning myself off, or whatever the case was, and not really telling people and owning that I was, doing the sobriety. I was doing the sober thing, because I thought that if it came around where I was going to drink again, that wasn't going to be something that was talked about. They wouldn't try to stop me.
Right, that makes sense.
And I relapsed. So, I mean, I know for a fact that's a real thing. But I didn't really think about it like that until just like last week. So, yeah, wow.
I didn't have any frowns. I had no frowns. Nah, the friends I had.
It's something to be proud of, though, you know? And I think that maybe why people don't... I mean, I'm not talking about throw yourself a parade or anything.
But if you want to, we'll be there.
But I think people think if I, you know, put it out there to the whole world that this is what I'm doing now, if I fail, then they won't remember that I tried. They'll just look at me like I'm a failure.
Right.
You know, because actually going through the motions of saying I'm going to do this, you know, and then not actually following through or staying sober, then all you think people are going to look at is that she tried and couldn't do it, you know. And you can't live like that. You can't have that be something to stop you from, because I think it makes things more comfortable for me. It doesn't make things uncomfortable. And if things are uncomfortable, it's because, you know, those people don't know how to handle themselves around somebody that's trying to stay sober. Like, they go out of their way. Like, you can't have, you know, a beer around because, you know, she might turn into this, like, crazy foaming at the mouth monster and, like, you know, might make her relapse. So, and that's because most of the time it's just, you know, that they're concerned and they care and they have seen you at your worst. I don't know. It's tricky. It's different for everybody, but. Yeah,
and obviously you don't hang around with those same kind of people anymore, or those same people, as a matter of fact, because you have a different life, and you know, those people that are out drinking. So don't think that, oh, well, all my drinking buddies they're not gonna be my friends anymore. No, probably not. You know, like, I got high school friends that I still talk to. You know, they can drink, that's fine. But like the people that I would associate with when I was in active addiction, I don't talk to those people anymore, and that's fine. I'm good with it. You know, I don't have to be anybody's friend at all. And what I'm doing today is for me, and the friends I'm making now, you know, are in recovery and they're serious about it. If, you know, you're just like, you know, I'm going to just drink and smoke pot because meth was my drug of choice, I'm probably not going to be hanging out with you. You know, it's just, that's the kind of people that I want to keep closer, just people in recovery, you know, from pretty much everything. Now, if you smoke pot, you know, whatever, that's legal now, sort of. But it depends why you're doing it. You know, are you running away from your problems? And is that going to lead you right back to, you know, doing meth or whatever? Then that's probably not a good idea, and I'm probably not going to hang out with you. But it's not because you're smoking pot. It's not because I think you're a bad person. It's just I don't want that around me. And, you know, I'm not judging anybody. It's just what I choose for myself. So
yeah, and the whole drinking buddy thing, that's exactly what they were. I mean, at the end of the day, what really did I have in common with those people other than partying? Yeah. I don't even think we had anything in common. If, you know, what were their that was the hobby. You know, so like if you sat in a room with those people and you weren't drinking, what would you be doing? Right?
Yeah. So the guy I live with, Mike, his daughter actually posted yesterday a video, and she's in recovery, and she was just venting for like 10 minutes. And I was really proud of her because she was getting it off her chest. And she was having a bad day, and she's like, you know what, these bad days, and blah, blah, blah. And she was just saying how easy it would be, and, you know, people still offer her, hey, you know, come, you know, it's free. You know, don't worry, it's free. We got you. And she's like, it makes it so tempting, you know, but instead of, you know, taking those people up on those offers to use again, she's like, no, I'm going to make a video. And I like that. I like the fact that, you know, she was strong enough as a person and in her own recovery to put that out there like that. You know, it's the same thing I'm doing with the podcast. You know, I'm doing this for myself, for my recovery. I didn't drink today. And I think, for her, that was pretty cool that, she was doing it for her. It wasn't like for show. It was just, I need to vent and I need to vent now. And maybe this is going to help somebody else. And I think she did a great job with it. And I'm proud of her. So there you go.
That's great.
I want to give her props. Alex, there you go. Or I think she goes by Lexi now, whatever. But yeah. So, well, how many stars would you give Leaving Las Vegas?
Shoot, that's a hard one to judge. I mean, because
1 to 10.
I know, but I don't know.
Okay.
A 3.
A 3. Yeah.
Maybe.
3 out of 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would never watch it again. Ever.
No.
Not, and I'm not saying because it didn't trigger me. I mean, it was more just like, there wasn't all, I mean, it was literally, that's all it was about. So.
I think it would be better if the whole, and I think they call it sex slave industry now, but the prostitution, that there was something going on with her and her mental, I think, but she wasn't using drugs. Like, I don't know. There was something about that there wasn't.
And there was
really,
a Swedish pimp guy.
Yeah, there was something that just wasn't making sense about that.
Well, that, like I said, that was more, I think, a subplot of the whole thing, but
she was an important character, and I mean, if that was more realistic, maybe that's how it is. I don't know. I've never been a prostitute in Las Vegas. I don't know how that goes. Maybe that's just exactly how it goes. But I think if that was a little closer to maybe how it really is, I don't know. But the alcohol part of it, though, being kind of spot on. Mm-hmm. I'd have to give it probably a 7 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah,
and what did you give E.T. again?
1 or 2. But E.T. doesn't hold up. That's the problem with E.T.
So sad.
I know, it is sad.
No, it's sad that you gave Leaving Las Vegas a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, because of the purpose of it. Like Schindler's List is a great movie.
That is a fantastic movie.
I'm not going to give that a 3.
No, but that is like so many. No, you can't even. That's a terrible comparison. Like awful. Like really bad.
Yeah, that's not a good comparison. But I don't know, just the whole realist. Like I don't think I've ever seen Leaving Las Vegas in any of my treatment centers.
No, they would never do that.
Why?
It's just way too real.
But I've seen Clean and Sober, and I think 28 Days, and those are cutesy little movies. But Clean and Sober is not really cutesy, but
I don't know. I don't know how they actually pick out the approved. I think they try to find things that won't be triggering.
Well, I mean, if you drink, everything's triggering.
I can't answer you that. I don't know.
Heroin's the same way. Maybe everything's
Well, essentially,
triggering.
that guy, there was no talk about any sort of resolve there other than one time she mentioned go to the doctor. Mm-hmm. But other than that, and I think they only said the word alcoholic in there like twice. It was always they referred to it as him being a drunk. And there was any kind, she never once touched on, you don't have to do this,
Well, he told her that.
I know. That's what I'm saying is it was almost, it was like the dog walking into the woods to die or whatever, Like he wasn't turning back. It was, it was just, he was going full-fledged and he had basically accepted his fate.
But we've all been there.
Well, yeah, I know that's a little, but that's why it's almost like it was too much for me. There's people that are just like, I'm an alcoholic. I'm accepted. I'm an alcoholic, and I'm gonna die an alcoholic. There are people like that. Was I like that? Maybe. You know what I mean? I can't answer that really, truly. I mean, I guess at some moments, that's I
was like that when I didn't know what to do about it. The only thing I knew, like I said, to do was to just drink more. And I had a doctor one time.
Yeah, but did it, if you ever am I really going to do this every day for the rest of my life?
I just figured I wouldn't wake up one day, and I was.
So
I was
you
fine
accepted